So I kind of got a procedure when I do walkthroughs, and what I do is what I see is what I talk about. So I'll be covering everything on this unit. As I'm doing this walkthrough, I'm going to let you aware of all the maintenance that's required with an RV, and then I'm also going to tell you some of the accessories that are available for the unit, and then I'll also put it in my personal recommendation whether I think you really need it or not. I'm going to gain a little trust from you here. Do you plan on buying an RV cover?
Not sure yet.
Do not. Of course, I can make some money off of you by selling you an RV cover, but I want to work with you, not against you. What happens with an RV cover, you put the cover on it, see that rubber membrane roof you got on the roof? It'll sit there and wear a hole along the edge. I can get on the top of any unit and tell you if it's had a cover on it or not.
Okay.
So you're just going to have to trust me a little bit when I got plenty of experience. So when I tell you you need something, you might need it, and when I tell you you don't, you probably don't, but it's up to you.
Okay.
Okay? Now, if I've gone too fast and didn't quite describe things well enough, on each corner I'll stop and ask for questions. The only thing I ask is don't work ahead of me. It's kind of hard to keep track of myself.
Sure.
All right?
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to be hooking up your hitch. It's going to come with a 2 5/16 ball, and of course, when we get that hooked up, then we'll do the demo on how to operate it. Okay. Your tongue jack, simple operation, up and down here. You got a docking light there, and then if you ever run out of battery power or blow a fuse or something, you pop that cap off there. There's a handle inside there. You put a handle in there so you can manually operate it, so you won't be stuck with it off your truck or on your truck or however it may be. Okay. Got a Ford EcoBoost. Read your owner's manual. I think there might be. No, I think. What year is it?
14.
Okay, so it's got a charge on it. Okay. So when you're plugged into your truck, you're actually charging your batteries off the truck. And charging your batteries. It won't backfeed. It won't drain your batteries. Okay? But yes, you can charge your batteries off your truck. Not only does this operate your lights, but these have electric brakes. So this is going to work your brakes, your lights, and charge the battery. Okay? This is a breakaway lanyard. This is a safety device. If you ever come disengaged from the vehicle, as long as this cable is hooked directly to the vehicle, whether it's weaved to the chains or whatever it may be, as long as it's hooked to the vehicle, if it ever comes disengaged, it'll pull that pin out of the box like so. The brakes are now activated on the trailer. And what that does, it keeps it from veering off into traffic if it ever comes unhooked, right? And make sure it doesn't, it just stops it where it's at. Okay? Don't ever use it for a park brake though. Okay? Your safety chains, get in the habit of crisscrossing your safety chains. Alright, so you can see which side goes to one, you just crisscross them. That way it acts as a cradle rather than going straight to the ground again if you ever come disengaged. And hopefully you'll never have to deal with that. And I like this little thing that they've been putting on.
Yeah, you're going to drop in the mud.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, propane. You got 2 full 7-gallon tanks. They're full, ready to go. The way that this changeover, this is an automatic changeover regulator. Now the way it's designed to work is going to be a little bit different than what I suggest using. The way it's designed to work is have both your tanks open. Whatever one that this little indicator is pointed to is the tank it's going to pull from first. Okay? So once this tank goes empty, the window here will turn red, but things will still work on the inside because it's going to switch over to this tank and pull them from that. That's the part I don't like, because do you think you're going to come out here to see if your window's red yet when things are still working on the inside? You ain't going to come out here to see if the window's red yet until things aren't working, right? And if both things are open, I don't like that when you're out scenario. So whatever one you're pointed to, simply turn the other one off.
Yeah.
Okay? And I see people doing this a lot. That doesn't do anything. Okay? It's still pulling from whatever tank you pulled it from. Okay? Now you'll notice that this tank here is still on, and it's not bleeding through, which means I can take this tank off, go have it refilled while I'm still keeping things cold in the fridge. If you're able to cycle your propane, you'll always have propane. Okay?
Okay.
Battery bank. You got maintenance-free batteries on this, which is probably the biggest neglect as far as people goes with maintenance. They never check the water in their batteries. There's many ways you can upgrade your battery source, and we call it dry camp stay. So when you're up at you're not able to plug into shore power, you're dry camping. How long are you going to be there for? You know, that's what all depends on how much battery power you got. There's all kinds of different ways you can do it. You can actually take off these 2 12-volt batteries and put on 2 6-volt batteries, and that gives you twice the amp hours, twice the dry camp stay. Okay? but you got to have two because it's a 12-volt system. You just got to hook them in series. Okay, but they will last you twice as long as two 12s. Generator power. Okay, generators are a good thing to get. I like the 2,000 watt ones. You need at least 3,500 watts to run the air conditioner. Okay, but now in the winter time, I don't need to run the air conditioner. I'll just pack around one 2,000 watt one. I used to like that idea until I seen it the Onan, because that's Cummins. You've heard of Cummins diesels and stuff like that. Onan's probably one of the biggest provider as far as generator power goes that we use. Onan or Generac. Onans. We got these new Onans in there that they're primo and they cost the same as a 2,000 watt, and they're 3,500. Yeah. So they've kind of changing my mind with the generator.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so we all good up front?
Yep.
Any questions?
Nope.
All right, let's work our way down that side. Here's my vehicle data tags. I'm only going to focus on two things right now, though. First thing I'm going to focus on is my required tire pressure of 65 psi. That's something you want to check on every trip. All right, and then I'll talk to you more about your tires and wheels when we get to them. The other thing I want to focus on is my gross vehicle weight rating, 6,780 or 98 pounds. That is a wet weight rating. That means all your tanks are full, your propane's full, and all your camping gear's in there. You don't want to exceed that limit. My idea is just an idea. My first maiden voyage or whatever, I'm going to load everything in here that I'm going to take camping with us, and then I'm going to throw in my weight set or my rock collection. I'm going to load her to the gill, right? And then I'm going to pull in the city dump. Pull in the city dump, put on, you're not going to charge you, you're not dropping nothing off, you just want to see what you weigh. Now, if you take it to the freeway, to the one that, you know, the state patrol's always there and stuff like that, you might not be able to leave with everything you brought with you. And they'll actually give you a little yellow piece of paper you got to go see the judge about. So if you just use my idea of going to the city dump, put it on a scale there, it gives you an idea where we're at. Then you know whether, hey, we got a long ways more before we overload it, or we can't quite take as much with us.
Right. Okay.
All right. This here's for when I'm up dry camping. I'm not able to hook to a faucet for water. Okay. I'm going to put my hose in here. I'm going to fill it up. When it starts to come out that screen portion, then you know it's full. Okay. I always tell people try not to travel with a full tank. You get accustomed to going to the same places or whatever and this and that. You'll find a good spot that gas stations have hoses or water and stuff like that. Full tanks create leaks, and that's just more weight you're trying to pull, so that's less on the gas mileage. I put 1/3 of water inside the tank just in case you need to pull over to use the facilities at some time. Okay, but other than that, try to travel with as much empty as possible with
Sure.
the tanks.
Okay.
All right. So you typically, wherever you see where you fill it, this is where you drain it.
Okay.
Okay, so that just pull the valve, you pull the valve, that's what drains your tank. And I like the big one because they dump a lot faster than the little itty bitty ones that take forever. Okay. On all four corners, you'll see these stabilizer jacks. I like to leave the word jack out of that because people get the wrong impression on what they're for. The sole purpose for those is to keep the rockiness way out of the trailer when you're moving around in it. And then that's it. They're not made for leveling, and they're definitely not made to try to change your tire. They're not weight bearing at all.
Right.
Okay? All right. This compartment. Now this comes with an outside barbecue.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then you got your handles. This here's going to be for your stabilizer handles. Okay. This here's going to be for a manual operation for your slide out, and I'll show you where this goes when we get to it. And this here's for that tongue jack.
Okay.
Okay. And then they kind of give you some pretty cool stuff. Forest River spatula, barbecuer.
Okay.
So here you have a filtered water system in this unit. It's right by the entry door. I'll show you where it goes.
Okay.
Okay. Filtered system's nice. Yes.
Okay.
Real nice.
So does that mean we don't need that extra attachment that we're seeing in the videos, or do we need that too?
Then they give you a toilet paper roll dispenser and a towel rack dispenser. The reason why we don't install those because as soon as I put it where it goes, wrong spot.
Yeah. The woman's going to come through and say, wait a minute, that's not where I would put it.
Now we got unwanted holes.
Yeah.
Right? So we'll leave that up to you. And with the towel rack and the toilet paper roll dispenser, there's not a lot of weight. You can put it just about anywhere.
Okay.
Okay. Then you got these push button lights.
Nice. Okay.
And like I said, this compartment's a little warped and dinged up.
Okay.
We've got a new one coming.
So just the new door is what they'll replace,
It's
is just
gonna
the
come
door?
with the whole compartment.
Oh,
not
okay.
Just the door.
Okay.
All right. Slide outs. The slide out all the way out is sealed. And the slide out all the way in is sealed. Now if I got a tree or a picnic table or something that's preventing me from opening it all the way, that's fine. You can still use it and you can walk inside it the whole 9 yards. The only thing you got to keep in mind is if it starts to rain, you got water coming in possibly.
Okay.
So all the way out is sealed, all the way in is sealed. You can still use it in between if you had to.
Okay.
Now, when it's all the way in, it's going to compress on this bulb seal here, giving me my seal. You got something similar like that on the inside. This little guy right here, if it's doing this number, whatever it's doing, big whoop, because all that is a wiper seal. That's going to just wipe the water off as it's coming in. So if it's flipped this way or that way, no big deal.
Okay.
But they are made of rubber, and part of your maintenance is protecting the rubber. And twice a year, get that spray stuff, you just spray it on there, it foams up, you just walk away, it'll dissipate, and it puts a binder to that rubber, protects it from the sun.
Okay. Where do we get that spray?
Anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what he's talking about?
Kind of short
Okay.
on stuff here. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Now a big thing too, and here's one of the accessories I'm going to throw at you, are called slide toppers. You got a rubber membrane roof on top of the slides. Okay. The amount of space I got up there is pretty much the same as space as I got here, give or take a little bit.
Okay.
Just enough room to get a pine cone or a branch stuck up there, and it puts a big old hole in your roof. Well, if you didn't get up there to see the pine cone or branch, you didn't get up there to see the hole, by the time you get a drip of water come out of a light fixture or something, you got some pretty bad wood rot damage at that point. So what I'm telling you, you guys are still young, you need to climb up on the top of the unit and sweep off your slides before you run them in, or put the accessory of a slide topper.
Okay.
The slide topper is going to fasten to the wall, and the fastener is just an awning that goes in and out with the slide out and protects it. When things fall down and hit on instead of hitting the roof, they hit on the fabric as soon as you roll it in, it goes to the ground.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep, I've seen those.
All right? Gray water. Good cue. All right, so you've got two separate termination valves. Okay? Underneath here, I got a gray valve and I got a black valve. The reason how I can tell the difference is the size. Okay? See how this one's smaller than this one? This one's gray, this one's black. Now it sounds logical, this is the way I'm going to use my RV. As I get to the RV park, I hook up my sewer hose and I'll open up those valves and camp away. As soon as I flush the toilet, things go away. As soon as I run the water, that goes away, right? That sounds logical, but what happens is we're only working with gravity. It's not like at the house where you got city pressure and this and that. You're only working with gravity. So what happens when your valves are open is all the liquids go out just fine. The solids tend to stay behind. Okay, then they pyramid up inside in a little 4 probes stuck to the tank that tells you how full they are. They're not even touching those, so you'll have a 3/4 full tank and not even know it. The monitor will tell you it's empty. Okay. So leave the valves closed when you're using it. Leave them both closed. There shouldn't be any solids staying behind on that gray side, right? Because the gray side's just your sinks and showers. Okay, the reason why I'm asking you to leave that one closed too, because when it is time for me to dump, I'm going to pull this black one first. Get all that toilet water out. Now I got this nice soapy sink water I can rinse my hose out with when I dump it. Okay? All right?
Okay.
You always want to use clog-free marine use toilet paper. You cannot substitute it with anything else. That is the worst thing there is for me to work on here. So if we get all this straight right now, the chances of me working on a black tank are less, right?
Yep.
You always want to use RV chemicals also. Okay, just help break things up there even more. No paper towels, no baby wipes, no hygiene products. Nothing goes inside that tank.
Right.
Okay, I told you I was going to talk to you about your tires and wheels. Every 3,000 miles or every year have a bearing pack performed. If you don't want to do the calculation off your truck, which I don't either, just get a hold of that wheel and wiggle it this way. If you feel any kind of slop or play, you need a bearing pack. Okay? I'm going to tell you what's equipped with. All right, so if I take this little cap off the center of my hubcap there, directly behind that's a little rubber boot. You take the rubber boot off, you'll see a greaser where you can hook a grease gun to it. Don't ever use it. Now this is just my opinion. You guys are going to have to trust me. I've been doing this for a long time. And here's my reasoning behind that. I don't know what kind of grease is already in there. And you can't mix greases because the petroleum's in there will cause you more friction damage than it'll do you any good. A normal greaser, it sounds like you're familiar with what a greaser is. What do? You squeeze it till you see some grease come out. Then you know, well, if you did that to this, you just ruined the seal on it because now you're going to have grease going anywhere.
This one doesn't go through the spindle and push itself back out.
Nope. It'll push back out the backside.
Okay.
Yeah. So knowing that, I might be putting too much grease in and I'll have grease going all over. But to me, the most important reason why is because if I got enough travel time on my trailer to where I need a bearing pack, I might want to see what those brakes are looking like, right? And the only way to do that is by having the hub off. Okay, now Dexter or Lippert, whoever made the axles, that little greaser thing used to be called the bearing buddy or stuff like that, and that all developed with boat trailers in and out of water, which they're using the same exact axle. It's just whether they're putting the bearing buddies on them or not. So instead of them making two separate axles, one for boat trailers and one for RV trailers, they just start making them all the same. So that's why they take quickly.
Okay.
Now this slide out here is going to be a different mechanism than this slide out. This is what we call a Schwintek or an in-wall slide. There's actually no maintenance on this. Okay? So you don't want to lubricate this at all or nothing like that. The only maintenance is your rubber seals. This guy here, you might want to lubricate your slide rams if it starts making any kind of noise or squeaks or anything like that.
Okay.
And I'll show you the manual operation for this. The manual operation for this one is right here. See this little board right there?
Oh, okay.
It says it right on it too. There's a little button inside that little square opening on it. There's a little button inside there. What you do is, and it says it right on the thing. You push it 6 times, and on the 7th time you hold it down, and those things will flash at you. And typically you can run the slide out in. Okay. And if that doesn't work, follow this piece right here. See that little set screw right at the top? That's what locks the motors in. Take that set screw out, right, and then you can manually push it in. Okay. On that slide, there's a port on the other side that shows you where the manual operation is. You're going to be using the handle for that one. Okay. All right. So good with septic, good with tires and wheels. Got slide outs covered. I'm going to ask you to retorque your lugs too, just for safety purposes. And it says right here, if you're using a torque, they want it torqued at 50 miles, 100 miles, and 200 miles. Okay, it doesn't tell you my foot-pounds on there, but these are aluminum wheels. I want to torque those to 115 foot-pounds of torque. And do it in a star pattern. Okay, Alright? Alright, so now we're coming across where you got another gray tank. Now this is going to be going to your kitchen sink all by itself. If it were mine, and I'm at an RV park, this is how I'm going to use it, okay? I'm going to go ahead and hook my hose to this one. I'm going to leave that one alone. Hook my hose to this one, and I can have that valve open because there's no black tank involved with that. Leave that one open. The kitchen sink is the most common used faucet, okay? It's the most common used one, so you sit there draining. When that monitor panel's starting to read full for that tank, or you're getting ready to leave, just simply shut this one off, take your hose, put it to that one, then pull the black and then the gray on that one. That's the way I would use it if I'm mine. So this one here, I'm fine with you go ahead and leaving it open and just using it as just sink water.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so that brings me to your water heater. And this water heater happens to work on propane and electric. The key word in that sentence was and. Okay, because this is the only appliance that's going to allow you to use both heating sources at the same time. Okay, so I can work it on propane or I can work it on electric. If I'm using both of them at the same time, it's going to give you faster hot water recovery. There's a little electric switch right underneath here. You probably have a secondary one on the inside. But this little switch right there, I'd leave it on the whole entire time. The only time I would turn that switch off is when I go to drain the tank, and I'm only going to be doing that once a year when I winterize. Okay, because as soon as I plug into shore power, I'm saving propane, I'm heating my water. Right? Now, if I'm going to jump in the shower, I know somebody's going to be coming in 5-10 minutes later, I'm going to turn that propane side on also. Okay, so that'll give you that faster hot water recovery. So this little 6-gallon water heater just became a 10 or a 12.
Okay.
Okay. Here's another key note here. All right. Insects are drawn to the smell of propane. They love it. So they're going to come in here. They're going to want to try to build their nest. If you ever go to the RV park and you see the ones that have the black soot growing up above it and stuff like that, that means they either got a wasp nest in here or there's a spider web inside the flue. They're going to come in here. They're going to try to build a home in there.
Okay.
Go to PetSmart and get yourself a flea collar. Take a flea collar, cut half of it, put it right there on inside here. The other half, put it in the refrigerator compartment. I'll show you when we get to it. And that'll help keep the insects out.
Okay.
Right?
I've had a spider web in the flue before.
Yeah. You put a flea collar in there, keep them out. Okay.
Going up camping with Tyson.
Okay.
Roll up, it's dark, and like, why am I getting this started? We're asking all the ladies around, who's got some sewing stuff? Who's got something? We had to pick it out. And,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah. They do it all the time. The wasps are the one that gets me because I'm going to do a winter, open it up, and here they all come. You know, stuff
yeah.
like that. You got to have your hat. That's why I always wear a hat so you can swat it. Here's another important thing too. This is your drain plug. It takes an 1 1/16 socket to get it off. If I pull that drain plug out, it's about this long. Okay, it's called an anode rod. Okay, it's kind of a gray looking thing into the rod. Better description to you what an anode rod is. It's a sacrificer. Okay, so instead of electrolysis and stuff like that eating on your steel line tank, okay, it's going to eat on that rod. So when you pull it out, it looks like a bug was in there eating away on the metal. That's perfectly fine. That's doing its job. When it's 65% missing is when you're replacing it. Okay? I used to be telling people the one that has the weld spot on the back of it is the most important one because there's magnesium and stuff like that fills in any imperfection because it also has a porcelain lined tank. I'm kind of carrying on with irrelevant information. But so the first one you want to eat gone. Now if you do go, because I'm seeing that the new ones you replace them with have the weld spot on the back of it also. But it used to be all the old ones where they were silver colored, there was no weld spot on the back of it. And they didn't have that extra chemical or that extra magnesium in it to fill in the porcelain lining. But they're all coming like that now. But if it's not, just let this one eat all the way gone. It'll be a small pencil lead size rod in the middle of it. Okay. Just let it eat all the way gone.
How long does it take to eat down to that?
Depends on where you're pulling your water from. This
Okay.
and that, well water's pretty hard on things, and you get a lot of calcium buildup and stuff like that. Electrolysis and stuff like that. So it all depends. Each year you're going to be pulling out that drain plug when you go to winterize it. What I'm trying to tell you, if you're having another service center doing it for you, they're trained to see if it's 65% gone. They're going to try to sell you a new one. Just ignore them and just wait till that first one's gone.
Okay.
Then after that, 65%.
All right.
Okay? You guys, this is Antonio. He's one of our technicians.
Hi.
He's shadowing me so he can kind of learn a little bit more on how to do walkthroughs and stuff.
Cool.
We worked on your car, so.
Yeah, he helped me PDI it and all that stuff.
Yeah. He's like, oh crap, these people want to come get it the day after tomorrow.
So you got a 30 amp power cord. It's approximately 25 feet long. It's intended for 30 amp, 110 voltage only. Now if you look at the other end of that plug, it looks like the same one you can plug your dryer outlet at home. You plug that into your dryer outlet on home, you have to change out everything electrical on here because it's 240.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
My biggest thing is, and what I tell people, and I try to encourage them to do it every time, is buy yourself a surge protector. Protect your investment.
You guys have one on the desk
Yes,
for
we've
us.
got one right now.
Yep.
And we're gonna do it. And we're gonna have this one here going here pretty soon too. So I'm gonna try to get one of you with it. So if that's the only one we got, I'd be putting dibs on it.
Yeah, I think we put dibs
on it.
Okay.
I think we put dibs on it yesterday.
Good, smart. So you guys know all about that. So
Yep.
smart thinking. It's very smart.
So you said this is set up 30, but most of the places, or at least where we're going tonight, is 50. Do I need that dog bone?
50 to a 30. And then you also want to get that 30 to a 15. 15 is a regular household receptacle. Okay, but when you drop it down to that 15 amps, you might not be able to run your air conditioner or microwave at the same time. Is all that means. You just got to be more selective of what you're doing. But
Okay.
we're gonna make sure. I know we got plenty of them throughout the shop. So if we don't have a brand new one to sell you, we'll give you a major discount on the used one.
Okay.
How many feet is this one? You said?
Approximately 25 feet long. Okay. All right.
Okay.
And then this is the stuff I get away from when I'm going camping. Is you got cable TV hookup and you got a satellite prep. This satellite prep here is for the little portable ones where you can put out there and watch it over this and that.
Yeah, okay.
But if I'm going up camping, that's what I'm getting away from is all that nonsense.
Mostly, yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
But if we got kids, because I know this is a bunkhouse. No, that was the bunk. Is this a bunkhouse?
No, we don't have kids. We've got grandkids, but
Yeah.
with any luck, they won't be camping with us. They'll be with mom and dad in the tent.
All right, that brings me to another corner. Is there any questions as far as anything I covered up to this point?
You're like, I'm getting away from that too, right?
No, I think we're good.
All right,
I'm a little nervous about the whole surge protector. I want to make sure that we get that because we haven't paid for it yet.
We got one right there. I know we do. And it's a
Okay.
30 amp.
All right,
Okay.
cool.
All right, so moving on to the back side here. Oh, you guys got golden stuff. Right? What I mean by that is you got this here fixture right here. What this is a tank flush. It's only hooked to the black tank. Okay? So if I take my drinking, I can use that same drinking water hose that I'm using for my fresh water. I can bring it over here and hook it up to here. As soon as I turn on my water pressure, it creates havoc in that black tank and washes it out clean for you.
Okay.
Is that the Sandy flush I've seen, or Sandy port that I've seen on others?
Yep, that's the Santa flush is what that is. A tornado flush, Santa flush. There's all kinds of different names for it.
Cool.
Most important part when you're using this though, make sure your sewer hose is hooked up and the valve is open. If you don't, it's only got one other way to go, and now you have a boudet.
Yes.
They call that a boudet, right?
Yep.
Okay. A bidet is a cleaner thing for you. Yeah, never mind.
Use your imagination.
Yeah, I better stop there. Will you do me a favor and go inside the fridge and get the keys? Or they might be on the counter. Outside shower both has hot and cold water. Okay.
Crazy.
Here's another thing. I always overload people with too much information. You might be in a hurry and all this and all that.
We're not in a hurry, and this is why we're recording it, because then we don't have to remember.
You got the little shut off thing here, right? So if I got my water pressure on and I got it shut it off here, right? And you're inside, it'll always do that little bit of a drip, but it goes to a full thing. But if it's shut off, it always has that drip so it doesn't scald you when you turn it back on. But what happens is a lot of times you're inside there and this fixture's on, you're inside and you don't know it's on. Not only are you losing your water, but every faucet you go to, it's not going to be hot because it's mixing.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, so if you ever come across that, you're not getting hot water, come out and make sure that this thing is actually shut off, or else you're going to be mixing.
Okay.
And then this thing you can just stuff up inside the hole. And you're just like so.
I'm thinking molly bath.
Yeah. Dog bath.
Yeah.
Foot bath.
Let me put the temporary life.
Yeah, it's not in there. These are yours.
Oh, geez, that's a lot of keys.
Duplicates of this.
Over here is my city water connection. Okay? So when I'm at the RV parks, I'm able to hook to a fixture. This is where I'm going to hook to my city water connection. And hopefully we have one, but anytime you hook a hose to your unit, you want to have a water pressure regulator between it. Okay? You
We
got
bought one.
Good.
Yep.
Because some of the water
I think it's
pressures,
preset 40 to 45.
50
Is
to
that
55,
fair?
45, yeah, somewhere in that area. And
Okay.
unless you had a tankless water heater, then you wanted to upgrade that to a 55.
Okay.
But 45 to 50, that's perfect.
Got it.
Okay?
Perfect.
And this is what us technicians like to see when we go to winterize a unit. I want to get it done because I got 10 of them right behind me. I got this port. What this does, instead of me having to locate where the water pump is and hook to it and this and that to get my antifreeze running to it, you just get yourself a garden hose and you cut it in half, take the male end of it, put it on here. There's a little valve right behind here. You turn the valve and you start sucking your antifreeze through this. Just makes it a lot easier. But what are your plans for winterizing?
Don't know yet.
Can I help you with that?
Yeah.
I know you guys are Oregon, so you know I ain't trying to get your service from it because you're going to be over there doing your service. Take it to an RV dealership and have them do it. It's a little over 125, 130 bucks, but not only you're getting that performance done, you're insured it's done. Correct? All right? Because if you forget to drain your water heater, that's about 800 bucks coming out of your pocket.
Right.
There's no warranties that cover neglect. Okay, so that's just my advice to you. Take it to the professionals, have them do it. That way you know it's insured, it's done. Okay? Because
Okay.
it can get pretty costly real quick.
Right.
All right? Now, since there's not a whole lot to talk to you about what's back here, let's take a minute and talk to you about what's up there. Well, before I talk to you about what's up there, okay, because I do see these things I'm seeing now. This here's your rain chute vent. If I turn on the fan to get the smoke out, it's not going anywhere until I open it.
Okay, so you have to open it on the outside.
Open it from the outside, okay, so now it can go out. When I go to shut it, I always push it up like I'm trying to open it at the same time, just to lock it back into place.
Okay.
In days, you don't want to flap it around.
Right.
Is this one we were supposed to put a backup camera on?
Yes, but it's on order,
It's on order, okay.
and they're
good.
going to mail it to
Smart
us.
decision, smart decision. Well, I got a little trick for that too. Right? With the backup cameras, and you got the little monitor you put inside your truck that plugs into a cigarette lighter.
Uh-huh.
If this TV has it, because they've been going away with it, but there's cigarette lighters inside there. by the TV.
Okay.
Take the monitor, put it inside by your TV, and plug it into that outlet. What turns the camera on though is your marker lights.
Right.
If you take your 7-way, the very top one and the one right next to it, you put a fuse in there, 15 amp fuse inside that marker light, turns on your marker lights. You got that security camera now inside there by your TV, so you can see what's all going on back there. So if you got your toys or stuff out here like that you want to keep an eye on, you can have a security camera built in too.
Yeah, that's a nice little trick.
Right?
Right
So now
on.
we'll talk to you about what's up there.
Okay.
I better look to see what's up there myself before I give you the wrong information. You got a rubber membrane roof. Okay, could either TPO or EPDM. I just wanted to make sure. This is going to require you to do rubber roof treatments twice a year. Now, rubber roof treatment sounds way more technical than what it is. You're just going to use a special soap and you're going to wash your roof off with it. Okay? You use a car wash type brush. Wash it, scrub it, take the chemical, mix it in a 5-gallon bucket. That's going to be your soap. It's got to be UV protected for your rubber membrane. Okay?
Okay.
Another thing you want to get up there. Now, your roof can hold up to 350 pounds. Okay? It's walking across.
Right down the center.
Huh? As long as you're not stepping on a vent, you're good.
Okay.
The center, the side, I can walk across that roof all the way over. Check this out. This is a Rockwood. I can step off of this roof and I can step onto the top of my slide out roofs up to 350 pounds also.
Wow.
Okay?
Okay.
Right? This is a good product you guys bought. Not all of them are like that, but this one is.
Nice.
All right? The reason why I'm telling you that, I don't want to get up there to do your roof treatments. Sealant inspections. How often? Every 30 days. That's out of all the maintenance stuff I'm going over with you right now, that's probably the most critical one up there. And that seems to be one of the most neglected ones too, other than the battery thing. If I got water leaks coming in from up there, everything below it's going to get destroyed because the water causes damage. You get up there and look around your vents and everything, make sure there's no gaps or voids. He's done the inspection already, you're all good to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you ever need to readdress it, the product they use up there is called Dicor, D-I-C-O-R. Dicor is going to work to your benefit because Dicor sticks to Dicor. What I mean by that is if I got a crack or a void up there, I don't have to dig off all the old stuff to put new stuff on it. I can seal right over the top of the other stuff as long as I got the dirt off of it. Versus a silicone-based stuff, silicone doesn't stick to silicone, so you got to dig all of that off before you can reseal it. Okay, but Dicor will work for your benefit.
Okay.
Okay? I'm at another corner here. Is there any questions up to this point?
I'm good.
All right, let's work on down this side. I got a sticker here that says low point drains. You got 2 valves underneath here. Yep, they're right here. Kind of hidden, tucked up way up underneath there. Yep. There's 2 of them because you got a hot side and a cold side, all your plumbing. That's the lowest points to all your plumbing in the system. Over a period of time, water becomes pretty stagnant, gets pretty rank if it's sat there for too long. If you're going to be using it, and then you're done using it and you want to use it for another couple, 2 or 3 months down the road, just go ahead and pop those caps off and that'll gravity drain all the water out of the lines. Just the lines though, okay, because now all your tanks will still be full and stuff like that, but that'll keep